Welcome back to another Sedlak Offroad School dirt bike riding tip, and today we're going to talk about the clutch. In a lot of our beginner lessons we see the struggle a lot of new riders have with the clutch, so today we're going to give you a couple tips to make life a little bit easier. So once you're sitting in the right position, you want to make sure you adjust your cable to the point where it has a good point of engagement. If you pre-adjust your cable too tight, the clutch won't disengage until the very last bit of the clutch. What you want is to the bike about halfway through, especially when you're a beginner, that's where you want to start feeling the bike or the clutch disengaging and the bike starting to move. You don't want it all the way back here because you'll be sitting waiting and then either stall or just give it too much throttle. So take a little bit of tension out of your cable so your clutch will disengage right at that point. That will leave you plenty of room and you can work it from there. So now you're sitting up front, your cable is set up. 2 fingers is how many fingers you want to have on the clutch. You don't want to use your whole hand because number 1, you don't need to pull your clutch lever all the way to the back of your bars. And number 2, you want to make sure you have some grip on your bars. If you use all 4 fingers, your bar is free. So now when you're riding, your bike can just go 2 fingers on the bars, 2 fingers on the clutch, pull them in to that point, and then the point to where the bike starts to move and the clutch disengages is not as long. So you're only working in that little bit of a range instead of coming from all the way here and wondering why the bike's not moving. In order to get a better feel for the friction point, it's good for you to just disengage the clutch, couple inches forward, come to a stop, couple inches forward, just to go over that back and forth a little bit, so it becomes a habit and you kind of really know where that point of friction lies. So now that you feel your friction point, you know at what point the clutch will disengage. It is really important that you don't give too much gas, right? It's the same movement. You let out the clutch, at the same time you give it a little bit of gas, and you saw it in that clip, just a little bit. You're not full throttle. Just a little bit of gas, so that at the point where you feel the bike moving, you just give it enough so the bike can get going in a nice and controlled way. So 2 mistakes that we see all the time is people letting the clutch out too quick or giving it too much gas while the clutch is all the way engaged, and then when they're ready to get going, they let off. It's the opposite way. So you start and you let the clutch go out, then you get on the gas. It doesn't matter how much gas you give it while the clutch is all the way in, the bike will never go anywhere because it cannot. So as the bike's idling, you start letting the clutch out, and as you start feeling the friction point and the bike starting to jiggle and wanting to go, that's when you roll on the throttle and make sure that the bike gets moving. And this is how you use your clutch. Really simple, right? You sit in front of the bike, 2 fingers on the clutch, halfway pulled in on the lever. When you feel the bike engaging, clutch disengaging, you roll on the throttle just a little bit, and now you have it mastered. So this is it for today's Sedlak Offroad School dirt bike riding tip. Make sure you check out some of our other videos, and we'll see you every Wednesday for a new riding tip.